regarding my concern. But my concern is still real and present with this board. My request is not out of the ordinary because this very board in 2017 wrote to the Fifth Circuit Court calling for racial diversity in the school district regarding students. They felt that they were making a good faith effort to retain diversity for the 29% of the student population that was in this district. Well, I am asking this board to have that same consideration for the 80% of the students that this district serves as it relates to diversity. If your effort in 2017 was a good faith effort, my effort in 2022 is certainly a good faith effort. Research proves that when children are provided diverse educational environments, student achievement increases, student self-concepts improve, and our school district thrives as a whole. I'm sure that this entire board and this entire community would love to see our school thrive and be supportive of a school district and a community that is enabled to attract economic development due to the quality of our schools. Our recent test data prove that we need to do something different. Our students need the support at the lower levels where in many cases we have 80% of the students are black. And in at least 3 of our schools, we have 90% of the staff that is white. In these areas, it's primarily at the developmental ages, whereas kids really need the support to thrive. We wonder why our kids are not successful at 3rd and 4th grade. We need to look at what's happening at kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade because those are the feeders to those grades. So it is my concern, it will remain my concern. And if we want this school district to be an educational utopia, which we are very well capable of providing in this community, I urge you to address the lack of diversity in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all, buddy.
That's all comments?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. We'll go forward to cabinet update.
All right, how's everyone doing?
Good.
All right.
Congratulations, Ms. Housing. Welcome to the team. First day. So as normal, we start off with our vision, mission, and values. Our 4 goals, which is student achievement, positive culture, community engagement, and employee retention. I would first like to start with Murphy's Law. It hit us last week. With the worst possible thing that can happen and happen at the worst possible time. We get the cold streak, and I want to give a shout out to all the parents that was patient. They were really patient last week. We had a number of heating units that just clumped out on us. To give you an idea, we have heating units that are ranked that go back all the way to the 70s. They go all the way to the 70s, and we got a couple that's new from last year and this year. So the maintenance crew was up. Everything was working fine, and all of a sudden everything just went haywire. But we pretty much got it all done by the end of the week. The principals, I want to congratulate them for moving people around. Pyramid Elementary especially, because we went there and they had nothing. And so we had to figure out a way really quick to move those kids around to make sure that they were not in the cold and suffering for that whole time. So we moved them early in the AM to the high school, but the principals did a really good job communicating. There was a lot of moving parts, transportation, with food, and with space. So I want to give them that shout out to do that. It just took a lot of teamwork, and until we can get all of our HVAC in place from our ESSA funds, we're going to run into this problem continuously because we have so many old units. So I just want to send a shout out to them. Shaw Family Medical, we always team up with Ms. Nora, and she helps us out after every break. We always try to have a little system where we test before we come back to school. So before we came back to school, we did testing on a Thursday. We had it at the middle schools and drive-through. We wish we could have more, but we did catch a lot as far as the community. It's for the community and for the parents and for the teachers and everybody in the community. So we do it every time we have a break. So before we come back for a break, we always do a testing to let everybody come through. But I want to give a shout out to her as well and her team. Even though they were short-handed, they did a really good job. Parks library construction is underway. You see the walls are going up even more every week. As long as we can keep the rain away, they can keep on working. But hopefully we can keep that going and keep that on a steady progress so we can get that done too. It's been a long while. Do you agree, Ms. Holmes?
Yep. Long.
Saturday school. Our first Saturday school will be January 22nd. Thank God. The Saturday school is a pretty good thing. We're going to have one every month, January, February, March, and April, I think. Our first one is January 22nd. We're going to have breakfast and a snack for the children, transportation as well. So we paid through all of this, was paid through our ELSA funds as well. So we're trying to do this every year for a certain amount of time to get that done, try to catch up the kids as much as possible. The principals be on the lookout for letters from the principals, phone calls. They're trying to get as many kids as they can to come Saturday school. Meetings. Meet every month with the teacher advisor. It's a group of teachers that come together. We meet every month. Our focus has been rigor. What they're trying to do is create something for next year that the district has the same expectation for rigor all across the board. So they're creating that. We sit down and we go through it. We're almost finished. So after that, it'll go to the principals, and then we'll send it out to the other teachers in the district, and then we'll come back and see what we need to revise. But they've been doing a really good job. We have another Soup Talk tomorrow. It's live. We do Instagram Live at 5:30. We talk about different items. It's short, but people normally send in questions to an email address, and I answer the questions, and it's a live commentary. It's pretty good. It's our second one that's going live. Testing window. The MAP testing window is April the 11th. That's when the testing window opens to take the state assessment. So I look at testing like sport. I look at it like golf. Like, we know where all the holes are. We just got to play the course. So we've been knowing that this is the April 11th, and we're looking to move some kids to get some growth. And today our signs finally came in, and we got them out. Everybody that last year got professional advanced or CTE did a silver. They got a sign. These are yard signs that all the kids got. They're pretty nifty. So when you go home and they got them in, all the principals got the names, and they gave them out to the kids today. I think they gave them out today or tomorrow. But we've been waiting on those signs for a while. I know it's January, and we got the testing stuff back in October, but it just took a long time. NAEP, we got the NAEP testing in 2 locations. 4th grade, DM Smith is on February 1st. 8th grade is the middle school on February 1st. This is not something that we chose to do, that we were selected to do. So we were selected by the government to do it, and those are the 2 things that they're going to measure on. I gave you all the link so y'all can click on it, and you can read through it and read through the information about NAEP. We always have our little AR. So we have accelerated reader. For the 9 weeks, we read over 348 million words. We read over 36,000 books, and our comprehension was 79.57. We're trying to get to 85% comprehension. We are creeping up every time. Last 9 weeks, it was 78 point something. So we are moving, and we do a competition. So for words, and I have one principal here. I told them they didn't have to come tonight because I knew it was gonna go. We got 2. Oh, we got 2. 2 of them very competitive. 3rd place for the number of words. Hayes Cooper read 11,838,000. 2nd place, Bell Elementary. What we doing? Words. 2nd place, Bell with 24,190,824. Thank you. And if you win 1st place, you win a belt and you win a certificate. 1st place is the middle school, 288,465,000. If y'all only knew Mr. Hillman, Mr. Hill's librarian, she a beast. She a monster.
Were you counting his words too?
For books, third place, we have Bill with 6,517 books. Second place books is CCMS, 6,973 books. And first place is the great H.M. Naylor with 7,941 books. For comprehension, third place is Bell with 86.44, which is great. That is awesome. She is racking them up. She has a whole display at the school with all her stuff. Second place is Hayes Cooper with 88%. And first place is H.M. Naylor again with 93.34. Which is awesome. That's the little itty bitty ones. And one thing that is not on my display, but I gave it to you all, is something that we talk about sometimes. I just want everybody to know. If you look under your name tag, Mr. Boggs and Mr. Evans, look under your name tag right there. There's some papers. There's some papers right there. Right there, Miss. Yes, ma'am, Miss Howard. We always talk about enrollment, and we talk about how enrollment is being affected. What I did, I went to MDE's site and I looked up all of the enrollment for all the schools in our area. If you look at the information that I gave you, there is a steady decline in enrollment every year. If you look at the green is the highest that we were as an enrollment. So that year was 13-14. Our lowest is now. It's 2,877. So I have every district for you in there. And I'm not gonna go through every number of every district, but I do want you to see it so you can see the steady decline in the area. It's just not in Cleveland, it's everywhere in our area.
Whole region.
It's the whole region. If you look at Clarksdale, 3186, now they're at 2108. Greenville, the highest number was 5,855, now they're at 3,668. Leland, their highest year was 1213, 968 children, now they're at 673.
Looks like everybody in the Delta from last year, this year, down at least 100 kids.
Yes.
So
Every-
where did those 700-800 kids go?
And that's the thing, like last year, the State Department was saying that the state of Mississippi is missing over 23,000 children that did not know where they were.
So what could we do for everyone?
And I'm going to say something about that too. North Bolivar, the highest, they having the data for 12-13 or 13-14, I can put for MDE, but their highest was 14-15 at 1208, now they're 843. And Sunflower, the highest was 14-15 with 4138, now they're at 3,059. And that's a combination of multiple districts in that district. Tunica, highest was 13-14, 2396, now they're at 1667. West Bolivar, 14-15 from the data I collected was 1437, and right now they're at 930. And Western Line, their highest that I could find was 1213. I went back 10 years, 2057. Now they're at 1664. And to come back with to talk about what you said, Ms. Hauser, I also looked at some of the census data just for Cleveland. And some of the information I found, it says in 1990 that there were 15,522 people living in Cleveland. And then in 2000, there were 13,765 people living in Cleveland. And then in 2010, there were 12,334 people living in Cleveland. In 2020, there were 11,199 people living in Cleveland. So within the 30-year mark, we've lost 4,323 people with an average of 1,648 people every 10 years. So people are moving out the region. They're just moving. And
Doesn't the Department of Education track the kids though if they sign to go to school somewhere else in Mississippi?
They do, if the other school district is doing what they were supposed to be doing. That's how we know where our kids go, because they're supposed to
We should
request
know.
the
If
information.
they going to school somewhere else, we should know.
Not if they don't,
Private school.
yeah,
Private school.
Let me allow me to explain how that goes.
yes, ma'am.
If a student leaves this district and goes to another district, he or she should have some paperwork saying that we have released them from our district, giving that district permission to pick them up. A lot of times they don't get it. At the end of the year, there's a report that we have to complete. Telling, the State Department will send me a list of all the students who transferred out of this district at my school.
That they have a record of.
That they have a record of. I'm supposed to let them know if a child transferred out, there's a code. Put a T3 or T5, depending on the in district or transferring out of state. We have to identify them. Then the state in turn will send me that report. I have to send them, I'm supposed to send them, let's say Paulette Hauser transferred out. I should have some paperwork saying where Paulette transferred to. That gives me credit for Paulette, otherwise it
Counts as a dropout.
It counts as a dropout. Now, the key is to not release these children until you get the proper paperwork, so that you can tell the state where they are. Otherwise, they count against you.
And everybody doesn't do it the way that she just said.
That's right.
And especially if they move out of state.
Stay to go to private school.
Private school's not gonna do it most of the time.
Homeschool.
Homeschool, they're not gonna do it. So I just wanted to give y'all those numbers, because we always talk about the enrollment and how it's affecting us, and, you know, there are some districts that are around us, and they have lost a lot of money, $2.5 million, $2 million, because they've lost so many kids. So, business,
Before you move on.
Yes, sir.
I want to commend you on your teacher ADA. 98% of the district, no, I'm sorry, we didn't total up the teacher, but everybody was over 95% of teacher ADA. I know with COVID, student ADA numbers are gonna be what they are, but we have got to stay on top of it. You know, our stated goal is 95%.
yes, sir.
And we've only got, you know, that are at that mark. Some of them are quite below that.
Yeah.
The high school is way below that. And at least, you know, I don't know what the answer is, other than making sure these kids are actually on COVID. A COVID kid counts, a COVID quarantine kid counts as an absence?
Yeah, but they're not, we don't count them as they're not punished for it, but we still have to count it.
So it doesn't hurt our ADA if it was.
They're not in that classroom. Well, the ADA month is October.
Yeah,
So,
We'll get paid by October.
yeah.
October, no,
October, no, the whole year.
next year,
Next,
October 13th.
last,
Well, the main thing is, if those kids aren't in the classroom, you can
I agree.
and, you know, I know your principals, we need to be a bigger emphasis on it, get them in the class.
And it's ironic you say that, because we had a principal meeting last week, and that was one of the focuses, was what can we do to improve the ADA? What kind of incentives can we offer? What kind of different things they can do? So they talked about that, and they gave each other some ideas on what to do. But that was one of the topics that we talked about, because we talked about it last month in our board meeting.
All right, thank you.
I guess given what you just presented to us, seeing the trend, I'm assuming you're evaluating the way we're set up, how we need to be structured to accommodate and
Yeah.
serve. So at some point, you know, if we need to group by elementary or how we need to do this.
Yeah, and we've thrown that around to say what you're talking about, and it's ironic that you say that, and that Dr. Shepherd said what she said, because if we do what you're talking about, if we do that, there'll be a lot of diversity in the schools, because you will have a K-something school and another school and another school, but that takes a lot of planning, and like you said, we are decreasing every year on average. It just didn't start, it's been going on for every year, but like Mr. Boggs always say, we just look at the vacancies, we try to make sure that we move stuff around so that we don't have to let people go, but we still have to adjust. So, yeah, that is one of the things that we are looking at. Not saying we're doing it, but we are looking at it.
But we need to be proactive about that, because at some point,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and unless the trend changes, and if it's been doing that for probably more than the last 10 years, and that's all you had up there.
Yeah.
What if the population
It's hard to
is
see.
4,000, you know,
1,000 kids.
about 1,000 kids.
1,000 kids.
In the city
In
limits,
the city limits.
you didn't look at the county.
Yeah, they don't count that.
That don't count.
Well, we.
Well, they counted who was enrolled in. Whoever you enrolled, if they counted kids, they enrolled in that number.
That's what I'm talking about, in the census part, that
Yeah.
was the city.
That's true.
You know, we got lots of kids coming from the county.
The county's been losing population, we're not the same rate. And if you look at some of our other school districts around us, they're closer to some of those decisions than we are.
Yeah.
So,
There's gonna be some hard decisions coming in the next
yeah.
5 to 10 years. I'm telling you, if the decline keeps going like it is, it's gonna be some hard decisions that are gonna have to be made.
You don't have one central high school for Baltimore County.
Don't say.
Miss Denver?
Have two county schools,
It's
city
fine.
schools.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, I'm here to give you the financials for November 2021. All right, district maintenance cash on hand through November was 13.6 million. Payroll had a little over 728,000. Accounts payable, 164,000. Food service, 1.3 million. Fund balance analysis, all funds through November was 19.6 million last year. We were at 12.4 million, so we had an increase of 7.1 million. District through November was 12.3 million. Last year, we were 7.5 with an increase of 4.8 million. Statement of revenues, we have received about 12.6 million through November. Last year, we received about 10.1 million, so we had an increase of 2.5 million. Statement of expenditures, through November, we spent about 12 million. Last year, we spent about 13.3 million, so we are down about 1.3 million in expenditures.
And if there are no more questions, and I know you all have the other departments, that concludes my report. You got a
Well,
question?
you mentioned earlier about heating units and heating issues you dealt with when we first came back, and then seeing our balance. You had talked about some of the ESSA money.
Yes, sir.
To help change out, where are we on that? Be able to replace, or did we just fix?
We're gonna be able to place all of them.
We're gonna place
We'll
everything.
place it on, all of it, full,
You just patch it and keep it going till we swap it
yes,
out.
we have bid opening on the 20th, for our elementary school, rotation.
Okay.
So I should have some, recommendations for you next month.
Are we gonna like a pyramid, what is it, 2 units?
Here, we have 3 units.
3 units to cover that whole building?
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna go back with all again? I mean, are we looking at other ways to heat and cool it, smaller packages?
Yes, sir, we are looking at, looking for 20 tons, 20 ton units for heating, because we're gonna end up closing those, either lowering the ceiling
Yeah.
or raising the walls up, so we will have to redo the ducting.
I know when we remodeled over there, that was an issue, that was one of the factors in just what they did because of the change in being able to heat and cool the classroom appropriately.
Yes, sir.
So I guess now'd be the time for us to swap them all out, and we come back to where we need.
And we definitely swap them all out, and we also add, like, none of the kitchens have HVAC system, so we are installing kitchen as well.
They're probably not worried about the heat, but I bet they want some cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Exactly. That's my report.
All right, can I get a motion to approve cabinet update?
We approve.
Second.
A motion second, approve cabinet update, all those in favor? Opposed? I have it. All right, approval of consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
One question.
Go ahead.
I want to question this approval to accept the move for Baltimore County Community Action Agency on for homeless. I'm trying to find out what, I read in there where the qualifications are for our students to qualify to participate in the program. I'm just trying to find out what kind of services are they offering. And my reason for asking is because I may know some families who they take advantage of. Can anybody tell me that? If not, can y'all get that with me?
That's a partnership that we have with the federal programs. We partner with Community Action Agency. So if we have a family that says that they are homeless,
Uh-huh.
and they do the intake process with us, they fill the application out, and we recommend them to Baldwin County Action. So they help provide the housing,
So
find the
Baldwin County
jobs.
will help find them
Yes,
houses.
they do all of that.
That's what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I need to know. Yes, we have, it's on the casino. My bad.
All right, then
Hey,
second-
I didn't wanna say nothing, I was looking at you, said it, I was like, I don't see it, Ms. Holmes, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I'm trying to get
Second my motion, second my motion, we move on.
It's been moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. They got the next regular board meeting February 15th, 16.
15, I was 14.
We out on the 14th.
I said 15.
All right, I thought it said 14.
The 14th is a Monday, we're out on that day.
We're gonna do it on that Tuesday?
I can be there on the 15th.
Yeah,
I just
15th.
thought it was a little strange we speak on the
Take
14th.
it out Monday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
We out
15th.
Valentine's Day?
Y'all wanna do it on the Saturday?
No, they didn't go out.
Everybody all right with that?
15th is fine.
All right, can I get a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to meet on February the 15th at 6 p.m.
All right, it's been motion. Todd seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have it. All right, approved funding card. Anybody?
I'm pretty good on it, I got two, and it's just for clarification. Oh, let me get over that.
The world's coming to an end.
What's this say?
Everything got quiet for a second, I thought it was gonna go.
Go ahead, cause I have one
It sounds good. You know, the role of the board is the financial. You certainly express. It is your perfectly right to express your concerns on this agenda. Page 3,
Okay.
bus radios. Bus drivers' radios.
Yes, sir.
So is that cell phones, or we going radios, what we doing here?
We got radios, they're radios, although we don't have the cell phone thing anymore. You got the
No
radio.
bus drivers have cell phones.
We don't have the, I'll double check it, but we went to the radios. We had the radios for last year, I think. Think it was last year?
Okay. I just, don't want to be paying for two different
For
things.
two different things.
And, we got bus drivers with cell phones, and we're paying a bill, and, all right, page 23.
I thought we had cell phones, so that they had to call for assistance.
I'm gonna make sure Mr. Harris, Mr. Alexander.
Okay, you'll double check that.
I'll double check it for you.
And give us an update on that. Page 23, chairs, DM.
Those paid out of their title funds for furniture.
Is that chairs for the gym? What is that?
That was class.
Classroom.
Classroom chairs. Okay, did we get new ones, or we didn't have enough, or
Yeah, a chair.
the chairs?
Chair.
It was shared.
I think talking to Ms. Barksdale, they use them for multiple purposes. They use them for classroom, and then they have things that they have in their gym too. And they use them for them, and they have different kind of meetings, like parent meetings and all that stuff. They don't never have enough chairs.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
All right, Ms. Lucille.
Lucille.
Now, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Howard.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. On page 6,
Okay.
Okay.
September 2nd, 2021, it's a invoice that was paid to Bailey. What's the policy for, on paying bills, like, on time?
The statute is within 45 days. And with the consulting, in this case, they do have pre-approved consulting contract dates.
Mhm.
And so they're working throughout the year until the actual contract amount is accomplished throughout the district. So, this invoice does go back from September, and it is past the 45-day mark. But that's just something that happens with these consultants, so there may be something that, we can definitely look into, making sure that they are turning in their service within the 45-day mark.
Okay, so that's a September 2nd, September 30th, and a May 24th.
Yeah, for Bailey.
Okay, page 9, going lumber, July 27th, no, that's the invoice page, July 27th.
Maintenance supplies for them, yes ma'am, the same thing. This is just, an old invoice from Boyle Lumber. And, with these open POs, I do know that when they go get these items, the invoices are not coming directly to us in a timely manner. So we will work closely with the maintenance director in these places to make sure we get these in on time also.
Okay, so that's July 27th, September 1st, September 22nd, and September 24th. Those are all on page 43.
Okay?
September 28th, RDS Tech Solution.
September 29th.
September 28th,
What's the name of it?
RDS Tech Solution.
That's council supplies for
Oh,
parks.
so September 29th for $976.
Yeah.
Council supplies at parks.
Is your question still about the past due date?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then September the 7th, really good stuff.
Okay, the 100?
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so both of those were for parks.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have page 46,
Okay.
September 24th to 5th. We have September 24th, 27th, 444, 58, and 973.
973.61, yes. These are supplies, library and art supplies.
So to kind of answer the question, that PO was written on 9/24.
The invoice.
The
The invoice.
the invoice came in, so that closed out the PO, but it's not on our claims docket until
Till January.
January.
Why is it so long getting that?
A lot of times the invoices are not coming to the accounts payable department in time.
So how can we fix it?
One of the things we can do is making sure that they have their PO. And one of the documentations we need in order to pay it in accounts payable is their PO saying that they received the merchandise along with the invoice. So the invoices should come to accounts payable. But a lot of these invoices are going to the schools where they're ordering the merchandise.
So when you issue the PO for that company,
Yes,
okay? That PO is showing open in your books until they send you the invoice from the school. So, and I guess one of the questions would be, why after 45 days, or at the 45-day mark, or we're not
Hadn't, why hadn't the school
saying,
sent it to you?
why is that PO still open?
we're just waiting on them because they have these merchandise.
Or your office contacting them
Yes,
and saying, in 45 days, we should have already had an invoice. Have you received the merchandise? Yes.
yes.
Or have you received the service? Because some of them service wasn't this house.
Yes, I'm on the first.
Why? So someone in your office should be contacting that school. So that invoice is sitting in the principal's office sometimes for several months before it gets transmitted to you.
Yes, and we are
That's what we gotta get
emailing
right.
them, and we are contacting them, but we'll just have to have a better, close relationship with them getting in.
Just send them a list of POs and say, what's the status of it? You got a PO with this company, this company, this company, where they at?
Keep up with all this.
Well, we got somebody looking at
Yeah,
it.
we got somebody looking at it.
Yeah.
We all right.
Yeah.
Did you have a question? You have anything?
I was asking about that Baldwin County, that, physical therapy, whatever therapy that was, for $47,000. What kind of services we get from there? Page, that's page 9.
Page 9,
With the,
physical occupational therapy,
yeah, good.
was $2,603.
It's up there.
Are you looking at the invoice amount or the open PO amount?
You looking at the old PO?
45,000.
Okay, yeah, that's just the amount of the approved contract, but the invoice for this, bill is $2,603. And this is a contract that the district,
Well, okay.
that special education have with Bolivar County, medical support service.
Okay. That's the special ed, okay.
You know, to your point about the 45 days, that's the invoice day. As a vendor, I'm calling somebody.
Me too.
We not getting those phone calls?
And I'll tell you honestly, no, we got a call from a vendor from something that was old from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
We've got a couple of like lawnmowers and stuff.
4 years. Like after 4 years, and then they sent it to us. Like, okay, let's pay it.
And see, my concern is when it comes down to our,
Yeah.
funds, and so that's,
Totally.
that's a
Don't
concern.
worry about it too. How much? Well, just the time, because when we get statements of our bank statements, and we've got invoices that are out there 5 and 6 months, that hadn't come through, we really can't count on what our account balance is.
Mr. Ball, just to answer your question, there are no cell phones. All two-way radio.
All right, can I get approval of claim talk here, please?
How much that
GPS
motion?
service?
Tom, Ms. Howard,
GPS service?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, approve the technology department to place bids notice, category 1 and 2 E-rate funding.
That's
22,
just
23.
to advertise for bids.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
All right. The motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval for contract service with Gimps K2 Incorporated. K12.
I looked at the contract, we made some changes.
So you're good
So
with it now?
I'm good with it as it has been changed. They were pretty quick to turn it around.
All right.
Ms. Thompson and I we're working together today to get that done.
Mr. Superintendent, you good with it?
Yeah. I read your thing you sent me.
All right, can I get a motion?
Second.
The motion is second to approve contract. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Next, approval of them K-12 Incorporated MOU Police School District. That's the same thing.
They have their contract and then we have our MOU, so it's basically the same thing, but you have to approve both aspects of it, their contract, our MOU.
I make the motion to approve.
Second.
The motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
There you go, Ms. Holmes.
Hey,
Make the motion, Ms. Holmes.
And I move to accept the MOU by the county new action for home repair program.
I so move.
Ms. Holmes.
First, she's got
Who's
it.
But I
second?
still would like to have a list of the services that they provide. We get that.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of Gear Up Grant to be paid.
We worked on that one too, that one's good to go.
I had a question about that one. So in that grant, will it benefit all 6th and 7th grade students in the district or a certain number of students?
No, ma'am. That's no elementary, we come to find out.
Oh, okay.
We come to find out no elementary, because we had plans to do some stuff at elementary.
Okay.
But then they said we couldn't do it. And now we're trying to find out, is it a certain cohort of children, or is all of our secondary
That was
kids?
my question.
Because we didn't write the grant, we were just part of the grant with Delta State, so we're trying to figure that out.
Okay, so you'll give us clarity on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's a legal part of it.
So we need to table that.
You want
So
to
we
table
table
No, we still want to do it, we just gotta get the other information for it.
it? Get the final information. All right, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Then motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of personnel.
Oh.
We got a breach of contract on ones we need to, don't
And we're gonna do the proper, legal work on breach of contract.
They'll tell me to do it, and I'll do it.
That's what we do.
Yeah, do it.
If we don't have highly qualified replacements,
They
Y'all
don't
listen
have
to
no
me.
replacement.
Y'all listen to me. I'm adamant about this. If we resign and find me somebody, that's fine, but breach of contract means to me, they just walked off.
yep.
That's it. That's why we send
Pull
them,
those licenses.
well, that's why we send them, that's starting the
I'm
process.
adamant about that. You leave my children without qualified teachers, instruction.
So we wanna remove 2, 3, and 4 off of the approval?
No, that's
I
breach of
think you can
contract.
approve it, and Arnold can send a letter,
He knows what breach of contract means. Send him a letter.
and then turn them in the state.
That's automatic.
Is the state pulling them?
What happens is the state receives your letter as a board, and then the state determines, if they're gonna have a hearing or whatever it is. Once the letter is sent, we have nothing else to do with it. Unless they call us for a witness or have us to testify.
And we can't move forward with filling them as long until we terminate for walking off the job.
They already walked off.
They're already gone.
Well, like, you know, one of them, if you look at number, I'm getting there, 3. That's 1/7 is your effective date, it looks like. You know, in the past, sometimes what y'all have done is, depending on how y'all wanna do this, I can write a letter. Some of these 12/17, that's already done, there's no fix to this. But 1/7 is, you got a chance to fix this. And then they can say, no, I ain't coming back, or yes, I'll come back.
So we got 2 at the high school, 1 at Pro-Tech.
But like, you know, so number 2 and 4, that's sort of a done deal. Number 3, there's a possible cure to that.
What is that? Is she going back?
Well, that's just 2 days ago.
It was just 2 days ago. So, but, you know, that's y'all's choice, is then you go, no, termination, breach, write the letter, go.
Well, right now, it's terminate breach.
Right,
And all 3 of them.
okay. Write the letter on all 3.
She sent a resignation.
No one even.
Breach of contract, I mean, I
It
just
just,
walked
it show
off.
I
up.
mean, they didn't show up.
No,
I presume.
I don't care.
That's really not quite quality.
Why should I care?
That's right. Can I get a motion
So moved.
to approve personnel as presented?
Second.
The motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Can I get a motion to consider executive session?
So moved.
Second.
The motion, second, to consider executive or stay agreed. Get a motion to stay agreed on the student misconduct, legal matters, and those two. Or under executive session.
Just do this one.
Student misconduct. Somebody motion to that effect?
Yes, sir. So, make that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I know,
We'll move in a